Okay, everybody, welcome back. It's Phil with Vigor Training. This week, our 50-state qualification series continues on with Connecticut. All right, guys, I'm back from a bout with the Rona, feeling pretty good. First range trip out since then, so we're going to see how this goes out. So today is Connecticut, and Connecticut is unique. This is the first state we've come across that does not have a state-mandated course of fire. Much like my home state, Pennsylvania, used to be up until 2020, Connecticut only lays out a set of boundaries and guidelines for their course of fire, and individual agencies are set to make their own specific course of fire. So the way that Connecticut's required annual qualification course goes, it goes like this: by percentages based on distance. That's the only thing they dictate. It is a 60-round course that must be fired on the Connecticut post-variant CM5 target that we're going to be using, and you must have an 80% better score to pass. Now, they also don't really tell you what the scoring is going to be exactly. So I'm going to do it as a hit-miss scoring, an all or nothing kind of scoring, and needing an 80%, excuse me. So the Connecticut guidelines are pretty simple, and they go like this. 50% of all the 60 rounds, so 30 rounds, all right, 50% have to be fired from 7 yards or closer, okay? Then 30%, or 18 rounds, must be fired between the 7-yard line and the 15-yard line. And then 20% must be fired at distances greater than 15 yards, or 12 rounds, okay? So what I've done is I've come up with a simple course of fire, fairly simple course of fire, that is Connecticut compliant. Now, it is not what I would design as a perfect course of fire for a qualification. It's still too many rounds, still too complex, still too much going on, but it's a pretty simplified, dumbed down version. I've also set the times to be a little challenging, but not unachievable. All right, so for that reason, I'm not going to shoot a double half. I'm going to set the times in this one that I think if an officer were at a good level of proficiency, they should be able to pass these times. Some states would find these times to be quick. That's really sad. They're not. None of them are fast. None of them are that challenging. This is still going to be a pretty simple course of fire, but I try to make it realistic within compliance for Connecticut, and we're going to give it a try. So guys, this is Connecticut's 60-round duty handgun qualification course of fire that I came up with. Let's give it a try. Okay, string one, stage one. I'm back here at the 25. I've got some cover. What I'm going to do is back up to the 35-yard line. I'm going to do a 10-round move. I'm going to do a run-up on threat and fire 1 round each side of the barricade, and I have 10 seconds to do that. Remember, we need to fire a total of 12 rounds. So these are the first 2 rounds we're firing at 25. I'm sorry, we need to fire 12 rounds beyond 15 yards. So I'm going to fire those 12 rounds all at 25. And we're going to start off with this first string. Run up from the 35 to the 25, fire 1 round each side of cover, and I have 10 seconds to do it. All right, let's give it a try. .826. Okay, for string 2 at the 25, I have 10 more rounds to fire, and realistically, in a qualification process, what are we checking for? We're checking for handgun proficiency. We're checking for fundamentals of marksmanship. So one of the best ways to do that is very simply allow the officers to test their marksmanship. So this is going to be 10 rounds, no time limit. Just a 10-round slow fire at the 25. So try to get all these shots in place. I got no time to do it in, so all the time in the world. So this is 10 rounds slow fire, no time limit. Here we go. That'll do it from the 25. All right, stage 3 is going to be a run up from the 25 to the 15. I'm going to be firing 4 rounds when I get to the 15, and I have 10 seconds to do it. All right, here we go. You'll be seeing me come into frame. 6:31, plenty of time. All right, the next string is also very simple. This is going to be, it's essentially the test. It's 10 rounds, 10 yards, 10 seconds, and I'm at the 10-yard line. The only difference is I'm shooting at the CM5 target, not at a normal B8 bullseye. So again, much like the 25-yard line is a general check of marksmanship absent any time constraints, this is a decent check of those same marksmanship fundamentals with some time constraint. Not a fast one, but at least something there to check our ability to reset the trigger. Again, we're just checking fundamentals, the very basic level of fundamentals, so we can move on to training. So here we go, 10, 10, 10. This is the test. .539. There are a couple issues with a lot of common firearms qualification courses. One of them being the insistence that you only use cover from great distances, typically 15, more commonly 25 yards away. I like to see cover be incorporated at closer distances. I also like to see drills that don't always start from the holster. So for the next series, we're going to be doing 3 rounds right side and then 3 rounds left side, each individual presentations, from a suspect cover position, utilizing cover, and I have 3 seconds. All right, I have 3 seconds to engage with those 3 rounds from that suspect cover ready position, utilizing a point of cover, and I'm back at 10 yards. So here we go. I'll come back to a suspect cover position, something similar to what I would be doing if I were giving the suspect commands. Okay. In fact, if you wanted to, you could add commands into this qualification course fire, although that's training, that's not qual. All right, here we go. 3 seconds, 3 rounds. .182. Check left side now. Again, same position, suspect cover position. .191. Expanding off of what we just did in that last drill, we're going to be starting from a ready position again in this one. Now we're going to check the officer's ability to perform a simple emergency reload. Okay. Ultimately, again, we're checking marksmanship. We're checking safe weapons handling. Okay. Can an officer load, unload, reload the gun, do the general functions of that firearm? So this is going to be our reload check drill. We're going to start it ready. We're moved up to the 7-yard line. From a ready position, I'm going to use my high index position as my start position. From that ready position, on signal, I'm going to fire 2 rounds, perform an emergency slide lock reload, and fire 2 additional rounds. And I have 6 seconds to do that. That's a ton of time, guys. It might seem quick to a lot of officers, but this is a standard we should be at. This is factoring almost 4 seconds for the reload, which is what I would need to do from the ready. I have the remaining 2 seconds to fire those 4 rounds would be very easy. So that's a snail's pace reload. This is where we should be. And if officers struggle with this, then they need to improve their skill set a little bit. They need to raise that bar up. So 2 reload 2 from ready, and I have 6 seconds to do it. Time is 3:68. Next drill up is very simple. Pairs from the holster at 7-yard line. I have 4 seconds to fire 2 rounds. Guys, that's genuinely way too slow, but 4 seconds is about an average of where you would see a qualification course fire. I'm going to repeat this drill twice, all right, for a total of 4 rounds. Here we go. .149. And .133. Next up, guys, is going to be our shooting on the move. This is going to be shooting on the move forward, 4 rounds. I have 8 seconds. Time is not important moving forward. I want to see accuracy, controlled shots. And we're going to start from the ready position, moving forward 4 rounds in 8 seconds. Again, time is not my constraint. Accuracy is my constraint here. That's very similar to the way we do this. If you watch my videos on movement, or if you've read my white paper, you know that officers, when they're moving forward towards a threat, tend to not be under direct threat, and they tend to place an emphasis on accuracy over urgency. So this is 4 rounds while moving forward. Time limit is a generous 8 seconds. Again, from ready, guys. Starting at the 7, moving from the 7 to the 2. Now, shooting on the move to the rear, okay? Now urgency does come in. I'm starting off here at the 2-yard line. So I'm going to be starting at the 2. I'm going to be backing up, firing 4 rounds, backing just to the 5, and I only have 3 seconds to do this. There's a lot higher urgency, a lot faster movement here. So we're going to be going back to the 5, just a couple yards back, and we're firing 4 rounds on the move in 3 seconds. Here we go. All right, we're back here at the 5-yard line. We're going to be going from holster, 2 rounds in 3 seconds. I'm going to repeat that twice. .142. That was a 115. Now, we're going to be going from holster, but we're going to strong hand only, and we're adding a round in the same time. We're now going 3 rounds in 3 seconds. Why are we faster and more rounds strong hand than support hand? Because that's actually mirrors what we see in a real engagement, not the way we often see qualifications run. So we go faster, more urgent. So we're here at the 5. We're going to be going 3 rounds, strong hand only, in 3 seconds. All right, here we go. My brain wanted to launch into solo hand clearance, all right? So we're obviously going to be over time, not even by much at 373. So with the malfunction, appeared to be an ammunition malfunction, I'd give myself an alibi on that one, so we'll shoot it again. Yeah, it's a 150. Now, the next is going to be 3 rounds support hand only, starting from a ready position support hand only. Gun already in support hand. So I'm going to draw a transfer, then I'm going to hit my timer, all right? And I've got 3 seconds to hit 3 rounds support hand only from the ready. Okay, 177. Okay, guys, now my final drill, I moved up to the 3-yard line. My target's over here to my right on my strong side. I'm going to start the drill facing my support side, and I'm going to stay in position. Basically, my gun is towards the threat. This is going to be a strong hand only drill. I'm going to be firing 2 rounds, strong hand only from the holster, no movement, nothing, just strong hand only, just turning and firing here. Very similar to what we would see in a certain movement pattern, just a little bit safer and simpler for the entire line to do this in this manner. So this is going to be 2 rounds, strong hand only, facing my support side, and I have only 2 seconds to do it. This is a fast, urgent drill. All right, so again, 2 rounds, 2 seconds, strong hand only. Here we go. .115. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's a Connecticut compliant 60-round qualification course of fire. As you can see, I scored a 60 out of 60. It's a course of fire I designed. Okay, inside my CM5 target, I love these retro old school targets. I will tell you, scoring this old school style target, though, is a bear because of all the dark gradient score lines. It's hard to pick up and count the rounds, but I'm 60 rounds inside my CM5. So I'm 60 for 60. I'm 100% passing this. Guys, I'm going to forego the normal scoring on this because I can't really grade something that doesn't exist. You make it up on your own, and it wouldn't be fair to give myself a grade. I would actually, if I gave myself a grade on this course of fire based on the parameters that Connecticut lays out for you, I would have scored myself somewhere like the 11 to 12 out of 20 range. It's a simple course. I would have got a 1, maybe a 2, maybe a 3 out of difficulty, depending on the double half. I made some of the times pretty quick. That last one might have been a little tricky to get 2 rounds under a second, but I can do it. So difficulty would have been pretty low. Relevance, I like to think I would have scored myself fairly high in relevance. Administration and shootability, it's a little bit too much from further distances. There's 50% of the rounds fired in excess of 7 yards, and I fired the majority of them from 10, 15, and 25. All of my shots, I could have, I would imagine there's some agencies that probably fire their 12 rounds from the 16-yard line and do nothing from the 25, and that's okay too. 60 rounds is too much. It's an old school arbitrary. It's off old competition scoring where we fired 60 rounds. From an administrative standpoint, 60 rounds is just a monster and a nightmare because I can't give an officer 1 box of ammunition from an admin standpoint and peg it out 1 box per officer to qualify. I have to go 1 box plus 10 rounds. It's really cumbersome and a pain, and there's really no need for it. I'm going to explore in further videos what I think a perfect qualification course of fire would be. So one week when we have an off week here, I'm going to design and I'm going to give you my opinion on a perfect course of fire. And I think you might be surprised at how simple it will be, how short it will be, and how easy it will be. But I'll give you that. So Connecticut, here we go, guys. Remember, 50% 7 and closer, 30% 7 to 15, 20% 15 yards or greater. You got to shoot on a CM5, but other than that, you can make up your own and do your own thing. I'd love to hear from my Connecticut officers out there. If you guys are doing something different, or if you do now have a statewide standard course of fire, drop me a comment, shoot me a DM, let me know, and I'll reshoot this bad boy. Until then, guys, check it out. Next week, we're sliding over to the side. We're heading to Massachusetts. All right, so we're going to give the Massachusetts post-qualification a run for its money. See how we do on that. Guys, if you like this video, comment, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay tuned for the rest of the states. We'll catch you next time.